Hi and welcome back. This week in class we're going to move away from doing literacy groups and we're going to look at some comprehension aspects of our literacy program. Now this term we're looking at informative text, and one of the comprehension aspects we're going to look at is fact or opinion and the differences between fact or opinion. Now last week we started doing some stuff on writing news articles, and this stuff really is important when you're reading through news articles. What is a fact and what is an opinion? Now I made a video about this on Friday and it didn't work, and I thought it was all ready to go, so this is the second time I'm doing this, so let's hope this second time is just as good as the first time. Let's just say it was the best video I've ever made, and you're never going to see it because it didn't work properly and the audio wasn't great, but it was amazing. No, it wasn't. Okay, so today we're going to look at, the aim is, can you describe the difference between what is a fact and what is an opinion? And can you give examples of facts and opinion? So can you give me an example? What would be a fact and what would be your opinion? And I need you to be able to tell the difference between them, because even sometimes it's very difficult. The easy ones like, kangaroos are native to Australia is quite easy, but there are some that are a little bit trickier. So we're going to go through some of those. Let's just try to think of a definition for fact or opinion. If I showed you some of these and said, look at these examples. France is in Europe is a fact. In a leap year, there's 366 days rather than 365, and tomatoes grow on vines. They are all examples of facts. Now, opinions. There is no better place to eat a picnic than on a beach. Beef is the tastiest meat to eat, and watching the sun set is a magical experience. Looking at those, how would you describe to someone a definition of what would be a fact and an opinion? Well, here's the definition that we're going to go with today. A fact is something that can be shown to be true. It can be proved. Tomatoes grow on vines. That is true, and it can be proved that it does. An opinion is a view or a judgment that someone has formed, but it may not be true. Now, it may be likely that it's true, like maybe having a picnic on the beach is a great thing, but to say it's proven to be true that it's the best place, or that, that there's no way that can be proved. It really just comes down to someone's opinion versus someone else's. Sometimes it can be a bit tricky. Like when you hear someone say Mr. West is the greatest person ever. You're like, well, it is a fact, but is it someone's opinion? No, I'm kidding. I just put that in there for fun. There are some that are tricky, but that one isn't tricky because no one thinks that in the world, so it's not even anybody's opinion. So we will just move on. Let's have a look at some examples. Okay, ready? Inverness is the most beautiful city in Scotland. Now, once when you're hearing adjectives like it's the most beautiful, it's got to be someone's opinion. It cannot possibly be fact. Okay? Kangaroos are native to Australia. No, it's no one's opinion. They just are. And the sun is 149.6 kilometers away from Earth. Now, the last two are examples of facts, and that's pretty clear. The only problem we're finding in 2021 is sometimes people put things out that are facts, but they're not actually facts. Like the examples are wrong. Like maybe the sun isn't that far away, but they've just put it out there and people just believe it. That's the tricky part, is people are sometimes putting opinions out there with fake statistics or fake examples. So that's where it's going to get tricky. But just for now, if it's saying things about it's the best place to go, then it's just an opinion. It might be mostly true, but it's still just people's opinion. I'll give you an example, right? So you probably don't know Michael Jordan, but I think a lot of you do. If someone said Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player in the world, like of all time, it probably is true. Like it's almost a fact, right? In the sense of like there's nobody that's anywhere near as good as he's been, right? But somebody might think that LeBron James or Kobe was the best. So it's hard to explain that something that almost seems like it might be a fact, but it's still just people's opinion, because some people might disagree and you could argue a different way. But you can, if you're giving the facts as to what you believe would be the best player, you could make it a fact. So if you said based on who would have won the most championships and that would make you the best player, then he would be. So based on the championships that he's won, it could be argued that Michael Jordan is one of the best basketball players of all time. See that that it could be argued. You wouldn't want to say it's definitely true, but you could probably argue that people would say that. So you got to make sure that you don't start saying things that are facts that are probably true, and that, like, if you said Sydney's one of the best places to live in the world, it's probably true, but people still have different opinions about that. Also, you got to look at the differences between, sometimes people use facts, but for different arguments. So let's look at last week's online learning. This is not true facts, but let's just pretend like they are. If someone came and they wrote a story and they said, did you know that 10% of students failed to complete their online learning this week? That's 10% of kids, right? They're using the facts, but to their opinion, right? They're using it for their own purpose. Whereas the other person on the flip side said, did you know that over 90% of students completed all of their online work last week? So you can use the same facts, but you can put a spin on it that makes those facts look like they're for your argument, but the other person might be arguing the same facts, but for a different argument. They're still facts as it is. It's about the other things that go around it, which is next week's lesson, which is about bias. But what I want to look at today is this. This is today's activity. You're going to get given a big set of writing, and it's going to have sentences that are facts in it and sentences that are opinions in it. Okay, and I want you to have two different colors. I think it's red and blue, and you highlight the fact sentences in red and the opinion sentences in blue. I'll give you an example. Ready? So it says sheep are one of the most interesting animals in nature. Once again, they're adding adjectives. One of the most interesting. It's still just an opinion. There is thought to be about 1 billion sheep in the world. Okay, it's true. The UK is home to 33 million sheep. It's a fact. When a sheep are 1 year old, they're called lambs. Obviously, it's a fact. That's just what they're called. They are the cutest of all spring animals. Once again, you're starting to put in opinions there about that's cute. That it could be, people might think they're ugly. The sight of them in the fields are one of the clearest signs that spring has come. The sight of them, one of the clearest sign. I still think that's an opinion. It's not necessarily fact. You can't prove that. Humans breed sheep for food and clothing. That's true. That's just a fact. Their wool provides the best material for making high quality garments. You can't know that it's the best. Someone might think that, duck feathers and stuff would be good. I don't know. Something else. Alpaca fur. Let's say that. So if you have a look through here, sorry, let me go back to that. So I'm just trying to find a way to show you. So then you're going to highlight the sentences, each color as to whether things are facts and which things are opinions. Okay. That's just a quick little activity for today's lesson, and then next week we're going to go into bias and prejudice, how your opinion, even if you don't mean to, may influence the reader of a news article just because you can't help. So if you were writing an article about the football and you were a Parramatta supporter and you weren't happy with the refereeing, that the way you write the article might change based on your beliefs and things like that. So that's just a quick video for today on opinion and fact and opinion, and I hope it's been useful. I hope this one works because the audio didn't work on the last one, so fingers crossed this one works. All right, thanks for watching.